Welcome back, everybody. I am CD3 Daddy.
And I am C3DG Minecraft.
And today we are going to be doing kind of a niche video. We're going to be showing you how to do an auto sell AFK well. Now, an auto sell AFK well is only possible with a sell wand. So we're going to talk about how to get that real quick. If you are not playing in DonutSMP and you are playing in another SMP with similar features, you may be able to use this. But as far as survival world, this is only going to be relevant for a survival world that has an economy. We are kicking off this video with a huge thank you to our incredible support VIPs. Your support means the world to us and helps keep this channel going strong. A massive shout out to Sangtran, Revamp, AJ, Kefir, and Clerksick. First thing we're going to do, if you are in spawn, is you are going to find the store. The store is located to the left of the big $sign. The store has multiple different crates, and these crates have multiple items that you can purchase. Now, if you are not in spawn, you can quickly get to the store by simply typing in warp crates. You can do this from anywhere in the server, and it will take you to the store. You are going to find the one that says Amethyst crate. You are going to open it, and you're going to find the axe that says Amethyst Sell Axe. There is an amethyst axe. This is not what you want. This breaks multiple blocks instantly. If you are chopping down a tree, it will break all the wood at once. We want the amethyst sell axe. As you can see, I am unable to purchase it because I do not have a key for this crate. To get a key, you can AFK. So let's hop over to the AFK area. If you are in the AFK area, you will gain a shard every 60 seconds. If you have Donut Plus, you will gain them a little bit faster. And if you have Donut Plus, you can gain shards wherever you are in the server. You do not have to be in the AFK area. Once you have saved up 4,000 shards, simply type in shard shop. You will see a bunch of keys at the top. Again, we want the amethyst key. You would click it and confirm your purchase. Alternatively, if you do not want to save up for shards, you can always go look to see if somebody else has listed it in auction by simply typing /AH and then sell. There will be typically a lot of axes available. You'll always want to search on lowest price because you can see that this one is being sold for 110 million. This one is being sold for $1 billion. We want the ones that are closer to 4, 5, 6, 7 million. That's typically where we buy them, but you have to be conscientious of the self-destruct time. You'll see that the very first sell axe is going to expire in 27 minutes. This one is expiring now. It's gone. 54 minutes. This one is 1 day, 1 hour, and it's being sold for 8 million. That's a little bit higher price than what I typically go for, but this would be the one that I would go for today if I was going to use it in Donut. However, once you are done with your sell axe, you can always put it back on auction and recoup most, if not all, of what it costs to purchase. But let's head back over to the crates. We can get there by typing in warp crates. And as you can see, we are back at the store instantly, and we will go over and purchase our amethyst sell axe. Alright, now that we know how to get our amethyst sell axe, we are just going to hop down to our storage system. Now, we have not connected this to a farm. The principle of how to do it is all we're going to be covering today. But simply, the easiest way to do this is to build a little channel directly underneath your storage system. So I'm just going to break out 2 blocks deep. I'm going to go directly under my chests, and I'm going to dig all the way out until I reach the last chest. And actually, Colin, if you could fill that in, I went 1 block too far. I'm going to go 2 blocks over so that we are 3 blocks in total with a wall in the middle. And I'm just going to connect the 2 sides. Alright, now that we have our trough underneath our storage system, we went ahead and replaced it with sea lanterns so you can see the outline a little bit easier. But you just need to dig out a pit 2 blocks deep. On the top block, up against your wall, you're going to place a sign. And then in the corner, you're going to place another sign. It doesn't matter which block you put it on, as long as it is occupying that space. You're going to place a bucket of water on the block next to your sign and above your sign. Once you have placed your bucket of water, this is the beginning of your AFK well. When your player enters the water stream, it will flow all the way to the end of your water stream. But as you can see, as our water stream becomes smaller, your player moves a lot slower. And we want to make sure that we keep up with our fast farms. So what we are going to do is we are going to count every 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to place down a sign. And diagonally up from your sign above your water, you're going to place a second sign and add a bucket of water. And we're going to do this all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a sign. Up and diagonally place another sign. Add a bucket of water. This time, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are going to be in the corner, which is perfect. We are going to place down the sign. We are going to place a sign up and diagonally from that. We are going to let this rotate all the way around. This time, though, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we see that it's going to be coming off of a turn. I want to give my player a little extra time, so I'm just going to extend that 1. Probably doesn't matter, but I want to make sure that our player makes it all the way past the turn. Place a sign up and diagonally above your water. Another water bucket. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sign. Water bucket. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are back at the beginning. So I'm just going to go ahead and let my player go through there kind of slow to reset. Alright, now that we have our water stream, the only thing left to do is actually hop in with your amethyst cell axe. You're going to hop in the water and you're going to look straight up. Once you look straight up, you're going to reset your resource pack while holding your mouse key, which we will demonstrate in a moment. And you're just going to let your player automatically mine the chests with the cell axe. Every time you break a chest, any item in that chest will be sold on /sell. When the player does not have a chest above it, it will just continue down the water stream. As your farm fills the chests at the bottom, your player will be looping back around, ready to go again. This is fully AFK-able. Colin is not pressing any buttons on his mouse or keyboard. He is simply looping all the way around. Alright, now that you see how it works in theory, I'm going to go ahead and hop down myself. I'm going to look straight up to AFK easily on Java. I'm going to hold down my mine button, which for me is my left mouse key. As you can see, I am breaking the chests with my cell wand. If I press F3 and T, let go of my mouse button, the game, as it is reloading your resources, your client-side resources, the game never receives the input that you have let go of your mouse button. So as far as the game is concerned, it still thinks that you're holding down the mouse button. So I am not touching my keyboard or my mouse, and I am still mining, which is pretty cool for this feature. Since I am selling all my crops with my cell wand, I can step away from my computer and this will go indefinitely, unless I get kicked from the server or my computer shuts down. To end this, all I have to do is give the mouse input by clicking it a couple times, and you can see that I am no longer automatically mining. Now this only works in Java. If you are playing on Bedrock on your PC, switch to Java. Jokes aside, you would have to find a way to hold down the mine button. What I typically do is I would go into my settings, I would change my controls and my keybinds, and instead of using the left button for attack and destroy, I would change it to maybe the space bar, and then I would just put something on my space bar keyboard to hold it in place. Oh, I need that. There we go. If you are playing on a console, this is slightly easier than playing Bedrock on a PC because you typically have a controller. You have 3 different options. The first and easiest is using the rubber band trick. Good old-fashioned rubber band, where you place a rubber band around your trigger for your mining, and that will hold it down as long as the controller is on. If you have a controller with a removable battery, you can hold down the trigger button, remove the battery. The console does not receive the input that you have let go of the trigger, and it will continue to mine indefinitely. And the last console trick is to plug in a USB mouse to your console, hold down the mine button, again that would be the left trigger, unplug the mouse while holding the left trigger down, and the console will never receive the input that you let go, and it will continue to mine indefinitely that way as well. If you are playing on a phone, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it. You can probably find a tutorial online. And that is it for your AFK Well. You'll just simply go around selling everything in those chests. Alright, now you may have noticed in my inventory I do have a couple other items. If you are concerned about signs showing up on pie chart and giving away your base, there is one option that you can do. You can hop down and you can replace all of the lower signs with glow lichen. You can do this only on the lower signs, and I'll explain why in a second. Alright, one more. Whoop, I missed. There we go. Now, as you can see, just like the signs, my player is going to continue to be pushed forward, and this is what we would expect. However, for some reason, if you use glow lichen on the upper layer, your player will stop. And that's just the way the water interacts with the glow lichen. To get around that, if you have banners, you can place a banner on the upper level, and you will carry through just like you did with the signs. So I'm just going to float around, replacing all my signs with banners real quick. And this will help keep your base protected from people using pie chart. Just like that. I would advise against using fence gates on the upper level. They do work. However, you are using an axe, and the axe can break. So if you are traveling through with an axe and you use a fence gate, chances are you will break the fence gate and break your momentum. And then your farm will fill up and overflow, and you won't get any of the profits. So this is the alternative to signs if you wanted to use something that doesn't show up on pie chart. And if you are wondering whether or not you can use the other side of your AFK well, you absolutely can. You can expand your storage system to where the entire well is covered. You would just carry your storage all the way down. You would just need to make sure that you have a hopper line connecting your farm to both sides of your storage system. And the last thing I want to talk about is how to design your storage system. Now, typically UCS use hoppers in this pattern. When you are using an AFK well to auto sell, the problem with this method is all of your hoppers facing into the upper chests are going to pull items out, fill the upper chest, and you will never sell them. Items will drop to the lowest chest first, but because of the hopper speeds, the hoppers tend to fill up quickly, and so you do get a lot of items in the top chest. So one thing that you can do is you can arrange your chests a little differently by placing hoppers on the outside and staggering them back and forth. This is the method that we typically do if we are trying to create a system that is going to funnel all the items down. As you can see, we have 4 chests here, we have 4 chests here, and if I add a hopper, we have 4 hoppers. It's the same amount of resources, it's the same amount of space, but anything that gets funneled through the top hopper will flow all the way down to the bottom chest. And that is it for this video. It is a short one, which I'm sure you are all happy about. Now, there is no correct way of doing it. That is just the way that we find to be easiest. A couple things to note. When you are designing your AFK well, you need to make sure that you have enough chests for your items to flow into. If you only use a couple chests, chances are you are going to overflow it, so just make sure you have enough hopper capacity and chest storage. Remember, you are going to be traveling around breaking all the chests, so there isn't really an issue having too many chests. There is an issue having too few. And as I stated earlier, once you are done with your sell wand, whether you purchased it with shards or you purchased it from auction, go ahead and sell that puppy and add on to your profits. I am CD3 Daddy.
And I am C3DG Minecraft.
And we will see you in the next episode.